All right, here we go.
What's up, everybody? It is the Halloween season, which means pumpkin spice is back literally everywhere. And it is also back with Jocko Fuel. 22 grams of protein, 2-pound bag. The pumpkin spice protein powder is back for a limited time just for the Halloween season. Get yours today and use promo code Reyes Reflection to save 10% off your order. Again, Reyes Reflection to save 10% off your order. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Reyes Reflection podcast. You know, they say the best things in life are free. So subscribing to my podcast and follow me on the socials at I'm Nathanael Reyes is free. So, I mean, that statement has to be true. I mean, obviously, the best things in life are free. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at I'm Nathanael Reyes. And you can subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon. I even have a YouTube page that I'm slowly starting to build up, so check me out there as well. My partners also need some love, so I got to shout them out real quick. Mad Rabbit, Tattoo Aftercare, BYOB, build your own bundle. Save 20% when you use promo code Reyes Reflection. Jocko Fuel, Pumpkin Spice Protein Powder is back. Save 10% when you use promo code Reyes Reflection. And Peanut Crunch, snacks to fuel your fitness. Code is MULCE, 10 being 10, of course. Now, on to the introduction of my guest. You know, it's not many times that I watch TV and I start to tear up. But that is what this individual did to me. And I'm going to call him out on it, and I'm just joking. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to have a great time about it. He's a talented singer, songwriter. He has a beautiful smile. As you can see, visual audience, you can see him. Without further ado, Jackson Snelling, welcome to the pod.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Of course. That is completely true. You did make me tear up and choke up, which we'll talk about that for your time on The Voice. But I want to get to learn a little bit about who you are first. So I see here in my notes that you were born and raised in Austin, Indiana. Is that correct?
I was raised in Austin, Indiana.
Okay, raised.
I was born in Dayton, Ohio.
Ohio. Is that why you have the Buckeyes, the hat there?
Yeah, so there's one in Ohio. There's also one in Nashville, but it's the best gas station ever. I love it.
Oh, I love that. So, yeah, so talk to me a little bit about your upbringing. So because you're adopted as well. So You were born in Dayton, Ohio, and then you resided in Austin, Indiana. So talk to me about your upbringing in life in Austin, Indiana, and things of that nature.
I mean, so I was born in Dayton, Ohio. And my mom and my dad, Daisha and David Snelling, adopted me and my brother. And we actually moved to a place called Upton, Kentucky. And we lived there until I was about 7 years old. And my dad passed away to sleep. So after my dad passed, my mom had me and my brother, two kids with special needs, by herself. And she was like, I need a school system to support that. So we looked up and down the interstate, and we found Austin, Indiana. They have like one of the best school programs for kids with autism that are on the spectrum, whether that be behavioral issues or fundamental issues. And it was just the perfect match. So after my dad passed, we moved to Austin and been here ever since.
That's got to be challenging for your family, first things first. But I also want to say, I think it's wild how, because from the video that you had on The Voice, Austin, Indiana seems like a pretty small town. So it's kind of remarkable that such a small town has such a strong school system for people with these type of disabilities and these educational struggles.
It's amazing. I mean, the people in this town are some of the nicest people you'd ever meet.
Really?
Yeah.
So
human being.
I've never been out there. So tell Nathanael really quickly why Nathanael needs to go out and visit Austin, Indiana.
I mean, Nathanael, if you were to come visit Austin, Indiana, you need to come out here to just meet the people. I mean, everybody here is so kind and cares about their fellow human being. It's just a huge, well-knit community, and it's so awesome to be a part of.
I need to go ahead and visit that because I'm in New England where people just really don't care too much for the people around you. So that sounds like I need to make a trip just for some hospitality and some hospitable energy. That's what it seems like.
Hospitality, man.
I don't know if you've ever been to New England, but a lot of people are kind of standoffish. And I mean that in the kindest way possible. I think they're very into their business. I've lived here for most years of my life. So a lot of people are just kind of one of those things where they're like, I got to do what I got to do. You let me do it. And
Yep, I
that's
got
it.
no out the way. I got you.
Yes.
Man, I
Yes.
know some people like that too,
Yeah. But it seems like they're a little far and few between in Austin,
Yes.
Indiana. So I gotta make a trip out there. You touched a little bit about you and your brother Dawson. You both were adopted. Talk to me about that relationship with him, because as I mentioned in the video, you were playing basketball with him, and you said he's your built-in best friend. Talk to me about the relationship with your brother.
So I mean, my brother is one of the kindest, the human being like I've ever met. Like he is so happy all the time, and he's always caring for everybody else. And I mean, growing up together, we've been through a lot. The loss of our dad. We both are on the spectrum of autism, so we have that in common. We bond a lot over music. That's a huge part of our relationship there. But I mean, my brother is just exactly that. My built-in best friend. I go to him for everything. I'm always there for him. He's there for me. And, he's just my biggest supporter, next to my mama, of course.
Yeah. Nobody can surpass mom, but respectfully, your brother's right there. Right, he's the second in command. I think that that's such a beautiful relationship that I'm hearing you talk about. Even for the visual audience, you'll see as soon as I mentioned his brother, his face lit up like a Christmas tree. You were just very ecstatic to talk about your brother. It seems like you two are very close, and you're able to grieve at the same time, which helps, I think, bond people.
Absolutely.
You also can relate in a different aspect, because you had mentioned that you both have autism. And for the people who don't know, I actually used to work with kids with autism, and so it's a developmental disease, correct? Yes. And that's because a lot of people, like you talked about, it's a wide spectrum. It's not just you're categorized in this one thing. And there's some people who go their whole life, work, and they have autism and they don't even know it, or they have never done the research themselves to figure that out. So for your brother, I think I saw he was nonverbal for a little bit.
Yes. So growing up, my brother, he was nonverbal, couldn't talk. So my mom and my dad put him in all these therapies, to help stimulate his brain,
Yes.
to get him to that point, and nothing was working. And they were like, you know what? Let's try to put little baby Jackson in the therapy sessions to try and encourage and stimulate his brother. So they put me in there. I go into this session, and growing up, since my brother was nonverbal, we all had to learn sign language to communicate with Dawson. So I would sign to him to talk to him, but I would also do the sign songs. A lot of people don't know what those are. It's like the nursery rhymes, right? Like Wheels on the Bus, stuff like that.
Yep.
But you sign it and you sing it at the same time. And by doing that with my brother, it stimulated his brain enough to get him to start talking.
That's remarkable. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. You really were able to build that connection with him enough, using music as a platform and
Absolutely.
using sign language to be able to have him communicate. That is amazing, dude. Dude, I hear that story, man, and it makes me choke up, because as I mentioned, I worked with kids with autism, and a lot of them were nonverbal. So my first school year that I worked with them, I think I was like maybe 21 years old. I was young. So I was just thrown into that, working with kids with autism, and I think they range anywhere from 10 to 14. And so there were some kids that could have full-on conversations with me, and then there were others that couldn't speak at all. So
exactly. Yeah.
my first year, after my first year, that summer, I did like a 4-week online sign language, teach yourself, so that way I can teach I love you and like bathroom and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And that was just me wanting to be invested and wanting to be a part of that. But for you, this was a life decision, because you and your brother, you're going to grow up with your brother for the rest of your life. So you were like, I have to be able to do this so I can communicate with him, not knowing that he was going to be able to talk and have conversations with you.
It was I mean, my brother has overcome so much like tribulation and hard times in his life. It's crazy. Like when my mom and dad adopted him, the doctors were like, he's going to be a vegetable. He's not going to be able to talk. He's not going to be able to be a functional member of society. And he has overcome all of that with just pure, like, and it's going to sound really corny, but it's like, it's compassion and love. It's caring for somebody so much and never giving up on them, knowing that they can be something,
Yes.
And I mean, I feel like that's where a lot of people falter is they don't push hard enough, right?
Yep.
If my mom and my dad were your, typical like person, they wouldn't have pushed as hard. And because they pushed so hard, my brother is where he's at today. And, it's an amazing thing.
And who's to say, like, and no disrespect, because I understand that there's some families that can't do that, which is completely understandable. But the fact that they were told that and they still went ahead and they were like, we're going to go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
That shows a testament of who your folks are as well. Just so, I can definitely see the type of awesome person that you are, awesome person that your brother, and I think it extrapolates from your parents, and I think it's a trickle down effect. And I think I don't know what your personal belief is, which is fine. I don't like to impose, but I believe in a higher power, and I think it's just beautiful to hear these things because, man, it works in mysterious ways. I
really
truly
does.
believe that. So that is just amazing to hear. These are stories that you never like when you hear them or you read about them, you think, oh, that could never be. But then when I'm talking to a person who literally has lived it, I'm speechless right now. I have goosebumps. I do just hearing this, man. I want to talk a little bit about your experience with autism. So
Yeah.
you were open about it and you advocated for it. You said, which we'll talk about the voice in a few moments, but you were an advocate for it and you said, I'm proud to say that I do. Talk to me about that. Why are you proud to just educate other individuals, let people know? I know it's who you are, so I think that that's also amazing that you are saying I'm proud that who I am. So talk to me a little bit about that.
I mean, I'm a high functioning. I'm on the spectrum, and my autism was mostly like my diagnosis was mostly behavioral. So think really angry child, right?
Okay.
So I had to overcome my fair share of things growing up, and I mean, I had people look down on me because I had autism. I had people underestimate me, put me in a box of like what I could do just because I had autism.
Yes.
And I've been on American Idol, I've been on The Voice, I'm doing all these things that not everybody, but most people told me at a young age is something I would just never be able to accomplish because I had autism.
Mm-hmm.
And accomplishing these things makes me so proud to be on the spectrum because I can represent the person that has autism, that gets told by all the people in their life and puts them in a box like, hey, because you have autism, this is all you're going to be able to do.
Yep.
And I'm a living testament that that's just not true. And being able to spread that message and give that hope to people is hands down probably the most rewarding thing about me being a musician and having the exposure that I have now, the platform that I have now, because speaking on it makes me genuinely happy. I mean, all the messages I get from parents or people that are on the spectrum like me and my brother, saying, how much you inspired me to, do all of this stuff, to go out there and start being myself. It's truly meant the world to me. And I mean, I'm just super glad that I can spread that message of positivity to people.
You are absolutely an inspiration. When I hear you say this, it truly is an inspiration because you yourself overcame a lot too. I know we talked about your brother. You yourself have overcome a lot. You're completely right. I think unfortunately society has this image of certain diseases or certain illnesses or certain conditions, and then you just get put in that box, as you mentioned. And the fact that you have put yourself out there on national platforms for other people's opinions, other people's criticism, and you're still going out there and you're like, I am going to do this regardless of what naysayers may say or regardless of what ignorance might be, because you mentioned this earlier in the episode. You said love and compassion, because at the end of the day, your love and compassion for society, your love and compassion for people with autism, your love and compassion for yourself overcomes all of that. And dude, you are just an amazing individual, Jackson. I really mean that. I keep marveling at who you are, because this is the first time that I've felt like I've bonded with a person, just because I've gone through these things of working with people and working with children and trying to help them understand that they can be something. They don't have to be put in this box. You can use your talents. One of the most remarkable things I've ever seen of a person with autism, and he was a student that I worked with, and he was nonverbal, but he was very quick with his fingers. And so we were watching a movie one time, and the end credits were rolling. He goes to the computer, Jackson, and he starts typing. And he was at so quick that he was doing it as the credits were rolling, and he was honestly, I kid you not, I went and looked back, and it was like a 80% accuracy. I was just amazed. What? I'm a fossil.
One finger, me too.
I'm a one finger dude. I'm like a poke, and like, oh, where's the, and he's looking at it. And there was another student that I had who loved basketball, loved the NBA. He could tell me every single stat from, I think his favorite team was the Nets. He could tell me every net player that ever played, all their stats.
Wow.
And so to hear these stories, I think when they hear autism, they think, you had mentioned, vegetable. And I think they think that across the board. And so it's so amazing to hear you and show awareness to it, and that it's not just that. Are there some cases like that? Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, there are some cases like that, but like you were just saying, the global stigma of it and like the way society perceives autism is just that, like vegetable. And, it's just not true, right?
No, you are just an amazing person, my friend, dude. I'm so excited to have you on the pod. I want to flip the page a little bit and talk about your time on The Voice. So you had talked about your father's passing on The Voice. Talk to me about what that moment meant for you to be on that stage. I know you've done American Idol, as you mentioned, but talk to me about what it is to be a national stage and represent not only yourself, but your father and your family.
It was honestly one of the best feelings in the entire world, because so I talked about it on my show, on my episode of The Voice, but my mom and my dad are huge Reba McEntire fans, massive Reba McEntire fans. All right. So to sing that song, If Heaven Wasn't So Far Away, I relate to it so much. And when I sing that song, I feel closer to my dad. So to sing that on that stage in front of one of the people my dad loved more than anything was incredible. Like, I wanted to bring my dad with me, even though he could not be there, and singing that song and connecting him on that stage, felt like he was right there with me the whole time, cheering me on. And, it was incredible. It's like an indescribable feeling, right? It's just like, it happened. I've watched it 1,000 times. I still can't believe it happened. So
it's like an outer being experience almost.
Exactly.
Yes. I think you did an incredible job with that song. And for what it's worth, I know we just met 25, 30 minutes ago, but your father was there with you, man. I mean, he really was, because you were riveting. When I was listening to, like I said, it's not many times that I sit there and I could have just heard you sing, and I think that chill would have been up my spine. I've watched it several times. It was one of my favorite ones because it was just so powerful, and maybe it was because of the emotion, But
Yeah.
I just thought that you were so powerful with how you were singing and your presentation and the confidence prior to you getting on stage. For the people who don't know, the whole experience is tough because you're up early. I believe they say like 3 or 4 o'clock, and
Yep.
then you're waiting around until your number's called. But you also had a very good conversation, a one-on-one moment that they aired some segments of it with Carson Daly. What was
Yeah.
that conversation like talking to someone that like Carson Daly?
I mean, man, it was so cool getting to talk to him and meet him and like level with him, because you look at you watch these shows and you're like, man, these people are larger than life. So to be there and like talk to him was awesome. And I mean, the conversation got, really personal. Like he was telling me like, you excited to go out there and make your family proud, make your dad proud. And, it got me in the right headspace. Like Carson Daly is really great at his job. Let me tell you, it got me in the right headspace to go out there and deliver such an emotionally charged song for me,
He definitely seemed to level with you. It was really a nice one-on-one conversation from what it appeared.
It was really nice. And I mean, the people on that show are the nicest people I've ever worked with, and at least in like the professional industry side of it. Like it was an awesome experience all around.
From the people that I've interviewed in the past and they talk about that show, they say that the producers to like the makeup artists, to like the people that get you ready, how that it really is just a great show to be a part of. So I'm happy that you're experiencing this for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like one big family. It's just so cool.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. Sounds like it. And one of the things I love about it is every time I interview a contestant, much like yourself, everyone is so real. They're so genuine. It's authentic, and I think I think you can. One of the reasons why I think that show is so successful is because you can see the authenticity from your screen, from your couch, from where I'm sitting right now. I watch it and I see how authentic the contestants, the judges, Carson Daly, the fans, they all are. Like it's like you see it all over.
I mean, it's the craziest thing, like, you would think in a competition show, right, that you're going to go there and you're going to meet some people that, are like very cutthroat, you're in a competition. We're not going to be your friend type deal, right?
Yes.
I did not meet out of, gosh, what was it? There was like 80 something of us. Out of all of those people, I did not meet one mean, bad-spirited person. Yeah. Everybody is so kind and so supportive of each other. The contestants, we're all like family.
Yeah.
I mean, we still talk every day, and like, it's just like, it's so cool how that is, because you wouldn't think that's how it would be. And because that's what I went in thinking. Like, so I was on American Idol, and not that there were bad people there, because there wasn't, like, but people weren't as like warm and friendly as far as the contestants go.
So is it more cutthroat on that show?
Like from my experience, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And the Voice is just like family. Like everybody genuinely cares and supports you, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
No, it is, and you're not wrong, because from past people that I've interviewed, even who they lost to, they're happy for them. They want to see them be successful. They want to see and I follow a lot of them on Instagram, and they follow me back, and I see some of the comments when they like do a post of a new song that they're doing or something cool that they've done. The comments of support and happiness and genuine love for that person is just a really, really cool thing. So I think you're not wrong. I think I know they want to sit there and say that people bond over trauma, and I'm not saying that it is a traumatic experience, but even like the waking up early, that's something that like I will never know. I've never been on a show like that, whereas these individuals have I have to be up at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I have to have makeup. I have to be sitting there. I have to wait. And one of the things that a person who I interviewed in the past said, they said, the waiting area is incredibly cold. So they were like, they said we all were bonding about how cold it was.
How cold it was. I mean, it's not a traumatic experience, but
Yes.
something that I've thought, and this is just true. You know, you're all there and you're waiting to do your blind audition, okay? And you're in a very stressful, because you're singing for your life, all right? Like, you got on that stage and your first thought is, because you're looking at the back of those chairs the whole time.
Right. Yes.
Concentration through your mind is, please turn, come on. So you're stressing about that moment for so long. And I feel like when you're put in a stressful environment, people are as real as they can possibly be.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people bond like so fast in
Yep.
these types of shows, because it's like you are in your most vulnerable state.
Right. Yes. Yes. You really are. You're in your. You're like, hey, listen, this is for the world to see. I can't hide right now. This is me.
Exactly.
Yep. No, I love it. I love it. Your mom and brother were there. They were there supporting you. As you mentioned, they're your biggest cheerleaders. You chose the song If Heaven Wasn't So Far Away, which I've never heard that song ever until you sang it. Now I wish I can show you off my phone, but my phone is my webcam. But I downloaded it. It's like one of my more recent songs.
Yep.
It seemed like Gwen turned pretty quickly. Was that real or was that just for TV?
No, she turned real fast. So she was the first turn. And it's crazy because when you're on that stage, you can't hear them turn, right? When you're on that stage, you're listening. So I'm singing, I see Gwen turn, super, super happy. Then I hit that high part and I closed my eyes for it. When my eyes were closed is when Reba turned around.
Oh,
So when I opened my eyes back up, Reba, and all of her amazingness is just sitting there smiling at me. And in my head, I'm just like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. Because I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah, man. But Gwen wasn't just for TV. She was the first to turn. And Miss Gwen is so sweet. And to tell you, I felt terrible after I felt bad for not picking her, but like, I couldn't tell Miss Reba no.
I mean, you're right. Gwen made a very compelling case. That was I was listening to her talk, even her get up and dance in front of Reba and be like, no. I'm like sitting there going, wow, she really wants this guy.
Yeah, I mean, man, it was crazy. I still remember when she did that. It was such an awesome experience, man. So cool.
Once in a lifetime moment. Yeah. So you mentioned that Gwen had made a strong case, but you still went with Reba. Was the biggest reason of why you went with Reba because solely of your folks, or did you feel like she was going to be able to get the best out of you in terms of what your style is?
It's for both of those reasons, honestly. I mean, If Heaven Wasn't So Far Away is a fairly recent song. I say that it came out in like 2011.
Yeah.
But I sing a decent amount of like old classic country, like Keith Whitley, Conway Twitty, that kind of stuff. So Miss Reba, could get that side out of me. I feel like a lot, and nothing against Miss Gwen, because I mean, again, she's done country too, but
married to Blake.
Yeah, so is Blake, right? But Miss Reba's like the legend, and so not only on a personal factor that I think I would work really, really great with Miss Reba, but also I told myself after that conversation with Carson Daly, before I walked out those big old doors, I was like, if Reba turns for me, I'm going to take it as a sign from my dad to go with Miss Reba. I told myself that, and when I went out there and started singing and Miss Gwen turned, I thought wholeheartedly that was going to be the only chair that I got, because Miss Reba turned like 3/4, like so close to the end, and my eyes were closed. So I genuinely didn't think Reba was going to turn. And when I opened my eyes and she was there, I was like, okay, Dad, you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Okay, Dad, I see you. So we're gonna go with this, and that's kind of what happened, really.
Oh my goodness, that is so wild that you were just singing your high note and then you open your eyes and she's there, and the queen of country is just staring at you, smiling, wanting you on her team.
It was so crazy, man. Like I'm forever grateful that Miss Reba, that I'm on the first ever Team Reba. Like that's
right.
So cool.
That's right. You are. That's right. And nobody will ever be able to take that away from you. earlier I did some research and I saw that you won an award. I believe it's the Josie Award. Is that correct?
Jackson Music Awards. Yeah.
Talk to me about what that award is, what it means, and how you won it. Like I'm curious. I've never heard of that award.
So the Josie Music Awards is an award show in Tennessee, and it is the biggest award show for independent artists in the country. I think it's right under the CMAs in the form of independent artist support.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
it was for I got Entertainer of the Year, and that meant a lot to me because it's the way you get that award is people have to recommend you for it.
Oh, wow. So they have to nominate you almost.
Yeah. So there was what was it? I think there was like 191,000 submissions for nominations and stuff like that. And to get nominated for that award was already amazing. But winning it was a whole different story. Like, I remember, and my mom, this is really funny. This is a funny story. So my mom, we all went to the Josie Music Awards, me, my mom, and my family. Well, my mom had went out to the lobby to like get like a soft drink or something. And so she was out in the lobby, and me and my family were in the like Opry House, in the room. Then the Josies go out there and they go, an Entertainer of the Year is Jackson Snelling. And I go, what? So I go up there and I'm looking around and realize my mom's not back yet. I'm like, so I get up there and I give my speech and I go, Mom, I know you're not here right now and you're maybe probably kicking yourself just a little bit, but just know that I love you and couldn't be here without you. Got the award, left. So she comes back. After I'm sitting down, I have the award.
So you already won the award and walked off the stage, said your speech. Okay.
Sat down, everybody starts coming up to my mom outside. Like, because then her feet were also hurting her too. So she was sitting in like a more comfortable chair in the lobby. I was the last award of the night. So everybody's leaving, going out. And everybody's coming up to my mom, congratulations. Oh my gosh, I bet you're so proud. And my mom's like, what? What's going on? And then I go, I won Entertainer of the Year. She goes, no, you didn't. No, I didn't miss that. I'm like, no. And I'm like, I did. Showed her the trophy. And she goes, oh my gosh. And I was like, 1,000-something people got video for you. So, but.
Yeah. Wow. That is a crazy story. Now, do you know the answer to this question? What soft drink was she getting?
Oh, easy. So at that time, she was obsessed with Diet Coke.
Okay. I hope that Diet Coke was worth it. No,
oh man, I joke about her with that all the time. It's so funny.
I would if I was in that predicament, I would hold that for the rest of her, as jokingly, of course.
Yeah.
But like, if I walked by the supermarket, I would hold, like, she would still be going. I'd be holding the Diet Coke, reading it, being like, oh, and like putting it back, and like, or you know what you should do?
Coke.
You know what you should do?
It's almost like as good as the award I won in Nashville.
I was just gonna say, you know what you should do? That's almost a prank, right? So one day, do you have your award displayed anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay. One day, you should take on April Fool's Day. Your mom will probably hear this episode before then. But Mom, we love you. Take the award out. Put a 2-liter of Diet Coke in place of the award.
That would be hilarious. Just walk by where the award case is,
and then put the award in the fridge, and that's like they switch places.
That would be hilarious. You know what? I'm gonna do that.
This is the experience. Yeah, she might forget. This is the experience of 4 or 5 brothers. So we were just always pulling pranks on one another. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is really cool. Ready for some burning questions?
Let's do it.
Awesome. How delicious were Reba's tots?
They were incredible.
Yes.
Like, they were like solidly, easily some of the best tots I've ever had in my life. And I'm not just saying that because she's my coach.
And I saw she had ketchup and barbecue sauce afterwards. I was like, I got to try some tots with some barbecue sauce.
Listen, so I used to get ketchup all the time with them, okay? I'm a huge ketchup guy.
Me too.
Miss Reba, when I got the tots, I go, ketchup. She goes, do you want ketchup or do you want barbecue sauce? She goes, I'm telling you, it's really good barbecue sauce. I'm like, you know what, Miss Reba, I'm going to take your word on it. Changed my life.
And now barbecue sauce is it, right?
All the way.
Yeah. I see.
Yep.
I'm writing that down because I got to try that. I have
You do.
I have tater tots. I always have them on my Saturday morning breakfast as my cheat meal, and I'm gonna use barbecue sauce. I am.
You should.
I'm gonna
Telling
use.
you.
Yeah. And if it changes my life, I'm gonna message you and be like, Jackson, this changed my life just like it did for you.
Exactly. Thank you. I would gladly take credit for that.
Did you used to watch the Reba show growing up?
Yes.
Yes, you did. Did you? I don't know if you could relate to this. So I used to watch it. I would get out of school, and it was always on like ABC Family. I think it's Freeform now. I would always get little pretzel sticks, and sit and watch it while my homework was sitting, and I should have been doing sitting in my backpack, and I should have been doing it. But so did you used to watch the show growing up?
Yes.
Tell me your fondest memory of sitting there watching the show.
I mean, easily my most fond memory of watching that show. So I would watch it with my mom. And, she loves Reba. So I think the most fond memory of that show with my mother would be anytime Reba walked onto the screen. Let me tell you, my mom, because my dad, is no longer here. He's easily the biggest Reba fan on the planet. So it's like, this was a regular thing. We'd watch the show, and Reba and Mom would just freak out anytime the intro played. So it would definitely have to be, just getting that experience with my mom watching the show.
I'm a survivor, right? Something like that? Yeah. Yep. I love it. All right. What does Jackson like to do that is non-music related?
Oh, gosh. Well, here's where I expose myself.
All right.
So I'm a bit of a nerd, all right? So there is this card game, and it's called Magic of the Gathering.
I know that game.
Yes. So that is my hobby. That when I'm not performing, which is rare, but when I'm not, you'll find me at my local card shop playing Magic with my friends.
That's awesome. I used to collect the cards when I was younger. I did. I went through Pokemon, and then I went through Magic, and then I switched to Yu-Gi-Oh. I went through all three. But yeah, Magic was cool. Yeah, that was a cool one.
It's a fun game, man, but that is my hobby. That's what I do when I'm not singing.
I love it. That is really cool. I still have I probably have some Magic cards. I have a whole I was going to say Tupperware. It's not Tupperware. It's a tote, and it's filled with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm sure there's probably some Magic cards in there as well.
I'll tell you what, man, we'll have to send some my way. That'd be really good.
Yeah, most definitely, dude. You got it. We're going to play this or that, okay?
Let's do it.
Be in public playing air guitar or air drums?
Air drums all the way.
Yeah,
air guitar's overrated.
Me too, right? I'd rather be going. Yeah. You can hit the cymbal. Yeah, I totally do. Lose a day of sleep or skip all meals for the day?
You see, I love food too much. I'd rather lose a day of sleep.
Me too, dude. Me too. I'm right there with you. I think I'd be worse with no food in my system than no sleep.
Easily. I would probably be the most unbearable person. I'm telling you. Get really hangry, What was it? Those, it's the Butterfinger commercials, I think?
Oh, Snickers, yes. The Snickers
commercials. Yeah.
Yes.
Those commercials where it's like you're not yourself when you're hungry. Yeah.
That's Jackson.
That's me.
Dude, I saw this post one time, and it was like, you have 27 minutes. When I say I'm hungry, you have 27 minutes to feed me before I become a different person. And so I'm totally there with you.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's just facts.
Yes.
People aren't themselves when they're hungry. Snickers, they nailed that in. That's just so true.
Right. They really capitalized on that. Like you said, would I be miserable with no sleep? Absolutely. But I feel like as a person, I would be unrecognizable if I had no food for 24 hours. Yeah, I would be.
I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
I would be very, very not nice.
Absolutely. Well, and I think about it because when I wrote that question down, I thought about this and I said, well, when I was younger, I used to do pull all-nighters by playing Call of Duty all night. I probably could just lock in, play now I play Smash Brawl Ultimate. I probably could lock in.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably could lock in, play that all night, and then be fine. Whereas if I'm sitting there, how arduous it would be to sit with an empty stomach all day would just be.
That sounds terrible.
It does. I'd be so mad. I'd be mad. Yeah, I agree. Would you rather? Do you like to write with pen or pencil? Which one would you rather?
Pencil, because my handwriting's not the best.
Really?
I like to be able to erase my handwriting.
I'm a pen guy.
Understandable.
Yeah. I touched up on this earlier in the episode, and I want to get some perspective from you. So, as I mentioned, and you have said that you've received several emails, probably hundreds of and text and DMs about what an inspiration you are to individuals with autism. If you could give one piece of advice for an individual with autism who may feel different, who may feel like that they're in a box and that they don't belong, what piece of advice would you give them when they want to be in your shoes?
You know, my advice to them would be that autism is a disability, but you should not let it disable you from going after your dreams, going after what you want out of life.
I love it, dude. Plug in your socials. Where can people find you, listen to your music, and experience Jackson's journey? Where can people find you?
All right. So on Facebook, it is Jackson Snelling. That is my official music page. I post my schedule on there, all of my covers, all of that. On Instagram, it is just reversed, so it's Snelling Jackson. So it's my name backwards. That's my Instagram. My TikTok is Jackson Snelling 1. It's now official. I think it's Jackson Snelling official now.
Yeah.
So that's where I post all of my TikTok content. And then obviously YouTube, Jackson Snelling. All of my originals covers go on there. And then it's Jackson Snelling across the board from that point, like Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play Music, Amazon, iHeart, all that stuff. You can find all of my stuff by just Googling Jackson Snelling.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Jackson, I really appreciate you doing this, my friend. I have sworn you in, okay? So you are a friend of the show.
I'm ready. Let's go.
You are a friend of the show. And I will request this, okay? Because I know you can't sing right now because you're still on the show. But when you're done, I have one request.
What's up?
Okay. Do you know the song Cop Car by, I think Keith Urban, and then I think Sam Hunt does a version?
Yeah.
I would like for you to sing me a little snippet of that when you can. When your time on the show, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. All right. I got a question for you real quick. It's a burning question.
Dude, you can interview me now if you want. Absolutely.
You said you play Smash Bros. Right?
I do.
Okay, who do you play? I gotta know.
I hope you don't say I'm a noob. All right. I'm a Ridley. I'm Ridley.
Ridley?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I respect it. I'm a Bowser guy myself.
Are you really?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's better than power bombing them off the mat, right?
He's a beast.
He's a beast, man.
Yes.
No, I just had to know that answer. But, man, thank you so much. This has been so cool. This is hands down probably my favorite, interview type thing that I've done so far.
Really? It makes me so happy when I hear people say that. I've heard people say that this is, I'm not just trying to toot my own horn, but toot.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy because I've interviewed many people in the past, and they say, "Listen, I've done hundreds of interviews, and you are the most disarming, authentic one that I've ever done." So
and I agree with that statement, man. I mean, shoot, I've done at least maybe a little over 30, 40 something interviews in the last few months, and it's this is definitely my favorite. This was really cool.
I love it, dude.
Man. Yeah.
I love it. Yes, like I said, you're sworn in, and you know what? We'll have to get our Switch passes so that way we can go ahead. I'll DM you mine, and we'll have to play together.
For sure.
I love Ridley because he's quick. You know who I used to be? I used to be Pitt but I don't like the updated Pitt. That's the issue.
Yeah. I completely get that. They changed a lot of people's movesets, and they slowed a lot of people down.
Yeah.
I mean, they nerfed people too.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I'm looking forward to it. DM me your Switch pass. That'll be cool.
Absolutely, dude. I got you. That is going to do it for this episode of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. Subscribe, like, comment, share, Follow me on the socials, and you know the deal. May you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm Oprah, and I love you all. What's up, everybody? Nathanael Reyes here, and get this. I am working with a company that Mark Cuban invested in. It is Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare Skin Products. You can go ahead and create your own bundle today and use promo code Reyes Reflection to save 20%. Again, Reyes Reflection to save 20%. Get yours today.